Hey guys, right now I'm pissing around on the engine lathe and I'm making a tool post holder stud for my Aloris type style knockoff whatever tool holder's quick change job, and I thought I'd try to set up a cool macro to just to play around and have some fun. But, let's see if it actually works. It's probably gonna rattle around like hell, I don't know. Well, it seems pretty steady. Put a little oil on it. And I'm cutting this piece down to 570 thousandths. I already have one part threaded, as you can see. I've been going at it. This machine, you have to kind of be patient because it's not going to hog a whole lot off at once. So I'm going to take 20 thousandths, and hopefully that doesn't prove to be too much. But it is kind of a neat shot. Oh, that is cool. Camera's not liking it too much. It's having a hard time keeping track of what it's doing, but it is working. This is pretty cool. Let's see if I can. There's the cutter. There's the chip coming off pretty good. That ain't too bad right there. I like it. And God knows I probably don't have this thing running the bit. Probably not running it at the right angle and all that other happy stuff, but you know, I'm having fun. And it is cutting, it's doing a job. Somebody that knows better than me could probably do a better job with it, but we're just having fun making a tool. This is a T-nut that I got off of eBay. A guy, Robin Brown. If you ever need a T-nut for your lathe, I sent him the dimensions for my slot on top of the carriage, and this thing is beautiful. He does good work. 20 bucks it was. Well worth it. It was $1 for shipping. Usually it's free shipping for those T-nuts at least. And there's the tool holder I got. It didn't come with the T-nut or the, well, it had a stud, but that's a long story. But that is a nice long chip coming off of there. Slinky, almost. It's going to look like I'm going to crash up toward the end, but I'm not. I already ran the chuck up to where it's going to look like it's going to crash, and I had it off and had it freewheeling and just spun it around by hand, make sure I'm not going to hit anything. And each cut I make is a little bit farther away from the chuck, so I know I'm all right. And shouldn't be grabbing chips like that. Good use. There you go. I do love this machine. I don't know how I'd live without it anymore. When my dad got it, he showed me his tricks on it. Probably not all of them, but he showed me a lot of tricks on it. And I am really happy to have this now. Even something stupid like this, or even less, you know, you want to get a pin, and you don't feel like running to town or something like that, and you got an old piece of rebar or an old bolt or whatever, you can turn it down and make yourself a pin if you feel like it. Pretty soon we'll disengage the feed. Right there. Get that little chip out of my way. There we go. And just run it in. take the full cut across this chamfer right here, and then I know I'm all the way back. Speed her up. She will get howling a little bit. Oil on. Hopefully it ain't spraying all over the lens. God, I love this machine. This is satisfying for some reason. It's really, oh, I don't know, just something really good about it. If you ever get the chance, at least run one. Whoop, there goes my camera. Go push a broom in a machinist shop for a while. Maybe he'll to give you the chance to play around with one. It's just really nice for some reason. I'll just polish that. Need to do, if I can find some emery. And one thing you do when you're running sandpaper on your lathe, get something down to cover cover the bed, cover the ways, so you don't get grit all over them. Let me see if I can find some decently fine stuff. This ain't too bad. Oh, I don't need those gears on anymore. I'll make the feed screw going. Just like that. Probably shouldn't be running sandpaper on the shaft with your fingers like this either. You know, just because I'm doing something don't mean you necessarily should. Yeah, it's starting to come out nice now. 570 on the nosy. I'm gonna flip this over, and I'll just have this little uncut part here sticking out, and a little bit, you know, maybe out to there, and get it so get it indicated and trued up and whatever, and then I'll finish this down to 570 and figure it out from there. Okay, one thing my dad showed me when you're just roughly getting your piece trued up, and you can probably see that running off really hard right there. You run your cutter up next to it till it just touches the high spot, and you only do this if you're really cutting off the whole outside diameter, but I can see just a tiny little mark right there, so I know this jaw has to move down. And so to do that, you loosen the opposite one just a touch. Doesn't take much at all. And you can probably see that we're already a little closer now. And that jaw is still high. So now that we're getting close, you want to make even finer adjustments on it. Now that is just about so close you can hardly see it, even with the cutter right up next to it, looking between the gap. But you can still see it's making a scratch mark on there. And you can get it really close doing this. I mean, you're not going to get super precise, but you can get really close like this with some practice. And I can't even tell that it's running out now. You have to be a little creative sometimes. You can probably see that's just within 5 thousandths, which is pretty darn close. And for a lot of purposes, you know, if you're just making a pin or something, you know, it'd probably be alright. But I like to practice and get as accurate as I can. I just overshot it. Well, practice makes perfect, right? Alright, you know what? Next time I get it down to 2,000ths, I'm just going to leave it. 1 1/3. I'm going to leave it, because I'm not going to be able to get it any closer than that without screwing around all freaking day, and maybe I'll get it, maybe I won't. No guarantee. First of all, slow this down a bit. You have to swap belts around. Cutting threads isn't too much fun on this thing either. I had to figure out how to do that kind of on the fly. It does at least have a chart on the inside of the gear cover that tells you what to do, but you do have to kind of figure a few things out. It took me a while to do it, but I did actually manage to do it in the end. This might not be the right way to run this bit, I don't know. My dad never yelled at me about it, as long as it seems to be cutting nicely, so that's all I go by, if it's cutting nice or if it's not. This is pretty easy here, just run it down till it matches. Okay, now I'm just getting ready to do some test fitting. And there's my T-nut. And is that ever a beautiful fit? Oh, gosh, I love that. Alright. There's the stud. There we go. Put that down in there. And when I did the thread and the cutting on that, I left that so there would be just a little recess down in there. There's no way that stud's going to come down and bottom out against the top of the compound, because that could actually end up snapping that off, and Jesus mighty, that would be a superb bummer. And oh boy, that's looking good. This is going to be great. Okay, so what I need to do is hang it, there we go. I don't know. Alright, from here I'll probably cut a bunch of this off, but basically say we're gonna leave about that much on there, like that. From there to just below here, say 30 thousandths or so, I got to cut that down to 500 thousandths, and then I'll thread that for 1/2 inch by 20, and I'll throw a washer on there and a 1/2 inch by 20 nut, and my tool holder will be ready for action. I don't know if I mentioned the guy's name, Robin Brown on eBay. He's the one that made the T-nut for me, and he did a really nice job. I'm really happy with it. And he kept the dimensions and everything for this lathe, so if you got a Logan sold by Montgomery Ward, I think it's a 700 series, he will be able to make you a T-nut for an Aloris style tool holder. Well, I don't know if it's Aloris or not, but it sure looks like one to me. It's probably some knockoff or whatever, but I got it for free. And I'm having a good time. But he'll be able to make you a T-nut to stick in your compound for this thing. And all I got to do is make sure to completely cut right past that bluing, and I know at that point I've cut far enough down the shaft. Alright, I know I got you on the wrong side, but there's my bluing and there's my cutter, farther than it has to be, and I'm just freewheeling that around and make sure I'm not going to crash into anything. So now I know that I have more than enough room. Alright, I'm going to dial this in again, and I'll get back to it when I'm cutting some threads. Alright, if you look at that, I just did the thing where I run the cutter up against the piece And that needle is that's like within a half a thousandths. I mean, I got kind of lucky, but that just shows you that you can get really friggin' close by doing that. I'm just going to cut down past this bluing about 40-50 thousandths, and afterwards run some threads down. I might take this length down, I might not, I don't know. I mean, you can always cut more off if you have to, but pretty tough to put it back on when you need it. I'm going to give this finish cutter a try, because I don't think I ground it to be a finish cutter, but I never really used it, I don't think. So I'm gonna give it a shot. Yeah, I don't know about that either. Alright, let's see what we got. Hopefully I didn't go under 500 thousandths. 502. 503. I like that. And did manage to get a radius in there. Kind of got some chatter marks on it, but get my little piece of emery here if I can find it. That'd be nice. There it is. And I'll polish that off. And that's the piece that's sticking up. I'm cutting threads on it anyhow, though, so it ain't gonna matter too terribly much. But make it as nice as you can while you can. Why not? It's fun. It's good practice. Watch your fingers. Alright. Not mirror smooth. You can see them chatter marks in there. I didn't have something set up right. But that'll do nicely. There's my file. Put a little chamfer on this outside here so my guide goes on a little bit better. And there goes the camera. Alright. Okay, there we go. I'll just cut some threads and we'll have it. Spindle, whatever you want to call it, will hold your tap on there for you nice and straight. Just give it a little bit of pressure. Now I'll start backing it off like you should. I guess it breaks up the chip in there or whatever. We gotta move this camera out of the way. Pardon me. Alright, well, that actually ought to be a little better shot for you anyhow. And now I'll shut up and just start threading. I could actually, yeah, here I go. I can't keep shut up for very long, can I? I could actually put this on the back gear and run this on, but I don't think it's very good on the die. So I'd rather take a little longer instead of wearing out my tool.
My body lies over the sea. My body lies over the ocean. So bring back my body to me. Had to try it.
The post into the T-nut, and that's going to get cleaned up and acetoned and probably red Loctite, so this thing won't be spinning inside the T-nut. But for now we'll just check it out. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. I love that. That is a good job. Robin Brown on eBay. Ho 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 ho, as the French in France will say. Ho ho ho. Ah oui, très bien. All right. Oh, that's beautiful. That is a good thing. Okay. Well, there we go. Finished product, eh? Thanks for watching. Have a good day.